Apa aja seperti ini.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat datang di Fakultas Kedokteran Universitas Muhammadiyah Profesor Dr. Hamka. Dalam rangka menerapkan regulasi kesehatan dan keselamatan kerja, kami akan mendemonstrasikan langkah-langkah penyelamatan diri apabila terjadi bencana di Fakultas Kedokteran UHAMKA. Untuk mendukung penerapan kesehatan dan keselamatan kerja, Fakultas Kedokteran UHAMKA dilengkapi dengan peralatan tanggap darurat seperti hidran, alat pemadam api ringan atau APAR, alarm, alat pendeteksi asap, alat pemadam kebakaran otomatis, dan juga tangga darurat. Ibarat kita nggak makan sehari, ibarat apabila terjadi gempa, ikutilah prosedur berikut. Pertama, jangan panik dan tetap tenang. Kedua, lindungilah diri Anda dengan cara merunduk maupun tiarap. Berlindung di bawah benda-benda yang kokoh seperti meja. Lindungilah kepala Anda dengan menggunakan tangan untuk menghindari cedera kepala akibat reruntuhan. Hindarilah benda-benda yang mudah jatuh dan juga pecah, seperti kaca, jendela, dan juga lampu. Ikuti arahan dari petugas untuk menuju titik kumpul. Jangan tinggalkan titik kumpul sebelum ada arahan dari petugas. Jika terdengar bunyi alarm, tetaplah tenang. Apabila terdapat petugas yang memberi arahan untuk evakuasi, segera evakuasi diri menuju tangga darurat atau pintu keluar terdekat. Jika proses evakuasi berlangsung, jangan gunakan lift, karena risiko terjebak di dalam lift sangatlah tinggi. Setelah berada di luar gedung, ikuti arahan petugas menuju titik kumpul. Jangan tinggalkan titik kumpul sebelum kondisi menjadi aman. Informasi tersebut merupakan prosedur penyelamatan diri apabila terjadi bencana di Fakultas Kedokteran UHAMKA. Berikut merupakan dana lokasi darurat yang ada di gedung Fakultas Kedokteran UHAMKA. Terima kasih atas perhatian Anda. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Muhammad Irfan. It's a precision for me to be your master of ceremony on this very special occasion. The Honorable Dr. Wawang Sukarya, SPOGK, Mas M. Hafidz, as the Medical Faculty, University Muhammadiyah Profesor Dr. Hamka. The Honorable Professor Dr. Syed Amir Gilani as a speaker, and all of the audience. First of all, let's say thanks to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, who always give us guidance, happiness, healthy, and mercy, so we can attend, participate in this special event without any obstacle. Praise and salutation upon our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who had brought us the little bit of life from us in this life. I would like to welcome Professor Dr. Syed Amir Gilani as our speaker today and all of the audience. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's begin this event by reciting together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ladies and gentlemen, the next agenda is singing the national anthem of Indonesia Raya. The audience, please stand up. The audience, please sit down. The next agenda is speech. The speech will be delivered by Dr. Wawang S. Sukarya, SPLB Kamas. For Dr. Wawang, time is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asrofil anbiya'i mursalin wa alihi washabihi ajmain. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, lecturer and students. Also distinguished guest, Professor Gilani. Today is very important. Is very important moment because we have a lucky Professor Gilani come here to give a lecture. Maybe 3 hours enough. And I think this is very important to know about the development of the education, not only the medical education, but also higher education. We can hear from now Professor Gilani what is the very important to know the development of the education. That's why the topic today is globalization of higher education and future of academia in health sciences. Thank you, Professor Gilani, for your coming. I think it's better if we can continue our collaboration after this, not only today, but in the next future. Maybe my student can go there and your student can come here in Indonesia. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Dr. Wawang, for the speech. The next agenda is main lecture from Professor Syed Amir. Before I will read CV of Dr. Hafidz as a moderator. Junior High School graduate SLTP Muhammadiyah 9, High School graduate Mutahari, Bachelor of Medical Science, University of Melbourne, Australia, Bachelor of Medicine and General Practitioner, Universitas Indonesia, Dokter Spesialis Radiologi, Universitas Indonesia. For Dr. Hafidz, time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Since Dr. Wawan stand up, I will also stand up. Okay, like Dr. Wawan says, today is we are very lucky that Prof will come and give us lectures. And before to start, I will share to you who is Prof. Syed Amir Gilani and how lucky we are because he's here and will giving us a lecture. Please. Okay. Pro-Rector and Dean in the Faculty of Allied Health Sciences in the University of Lahore. University of Lahore is the biggest private university in Pakistan. Like us, we're also private university, but we're still growing, still babies. 4 years and still growing, but the University of Lahore is already a biggest university, private university in Pakistan. And we see his MBBS is doctors in Pakistan. The DMRD is a radiologist resident, if I'm not mistaken, yes, Prof. Yes. And then the MPH, Magister of Public Health, and also PhD in Ultrasound and PhD of Public Health. So he has two major top medical branch as a radiologist and as a public health. That's a very hard to achieve the two PhDs in two branch. And also he has experience in Dean as a University of Lahore and also as a Vice Chancellor Dean in the Imperial College, also as Associate Professor in Al-Azhar University, Sudan, Professor in Switzerland in the University, and also as chairman as the Afro-Asian Institute in Pakistan. And also see the overall experience is 30 years of professional experience, teaching experience 22 years, post-PhD 14 years, clinical experience 28 years. And also have after speaking to Prof. Syed, also knew that he is an entrepreneur. He has 2 radiology clinics in Pakistan. So he's a doctor, he's a teacher, and he is also an entrepreneur. That's a very great feat. Give a big hand for him first. So that's why I urge you, regardless of this topic of today, you can ask whatever if you want to ask about him, his how he can achieve that, how in Pakistan the medical system in Pakistan, this is a big opportunity for you. And also the publication, 500 publications, that's a lot. You guys in semester 8 only have one publication, yeah, I hope. Before going to class, you should have one, right? Yeah, I hope you can do that. Prof. Syed is already have 542, that's a lot. Next, the paper presented 320, conference attended 135, supervised Magister of 32, and medical science 168. Wow. Also, the books written 10. Then you can see the international link is very broad. You can see the director of the Broad Institute, Canada, visiting professor of the Swiss, LU University, and also the senior member of American Institute of Ultrasound and Medicine. And all you can read this very lot. Lifetime member of the Ultrasound Society of Pakistan. The honor, I can say, wow, there's a lot. From 1099 until 2020, the second position in the Fakultas of Productivity Award in Lahore. Wow. And you can even in 2019, the first position in the Fakultas of Productivity Award. And you have to remember this is the private university, not the national university. That's a very great achievement. His impact factor is 1,626 and citation is 9,604. Research gate score is 50 on 35. Next. Okay, and he's Chief Editor of Asian Journal of Allied Health Sciences, Pakistan Journal of Physical Therapy, Pakistan Journal of Nursing and Midwifery, and the Sky. So if you have any paper, you can ask Dr. Noki. Maybe Dr. Noki will ask Prof. Syed if the paper will present in his journals. Okay. Okay, so he didn't even mention where is his high school. We didn't even mention where he's born, and we already have a great pic. So this paper is full of his achievement, and there's four or five paper. There's a lot. I just mentioned my high school. So I'm still very, very tiny according to Professor Syed in the term of achievement in this medical world. So let's give him a big applause and time to go.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Mursaleen. First of all, I'm thankful to the university, their international office, and before coming, I was disturbing them a lot, asking many questions, and then thanks to the management, to the Dean of Health Sciences, their vice deans, first and second, and the moderator, he is radiologist. I'm by profession a radiologist, so it was nice to be introduced by a radiologist. And all the students, the future of nation. And see, when we talk about globalization and we say nation, all the Muslims are one nation. These boundaries, they doesn't matter. So this is our nation and we are part of you. And before COVID, I got a chance to visit Medina Munawwara every month. Every month for 3 years, I was going for 3 days. My Saturday, Sunday is off. So I was usually going on Thursday from Pakistan, having my attendance there. So I met many Indonesian friends, many shiukh from Indonesia. They are very religious people. I met some people who were extraordinary in religious matters. So I had some introduction with them and we talked about the system. It's nice to be here and we will have 4 parts of my lecture. When I start looking at the faces, I think about after 45 minutes, people will start getting bored. So I will start winding up. My introduction is already there. Next slide, please. Okay. So Indonesia is not new for me. I was here in 2010 when I attended a conference which was Asian Federation of Ultrasound in Medicine and Biology in Bali. And I delivered 7 lectures in that 3 days conference. So my main interest is on musculoskeletal ultrasound. I do radiology of shoulders and different joints. So most of my lectures were on that. And I always try to do something which is impossible. Why I'm sharing my things so that you get some stimulation and you start doing the good things which I will mention. Keep in mind, 100% of the things in the lectures are not to be followed. You have to follow the things which are good for you. So we bring many flowers of many wisdom, many thoughts. Then you have to choose the things which you need, which will be good for you. All individuals, they have their own DNA, they have their own setup. So every individual is a separate world, is a separate universe. So depending on your DNA, you might have heard that our retina, our thumb impression is not identical with anybody else. So we have specific. So Allah Almighty has created all individuals separately, individually. Everybody has got some good things, some bad things. So it is a mixture. We, in the age in which you are, in medical students, we have to explore what are the good things in my personality and what are the bad things. So we will keep on discussing such things because a teacher will always teach you the subject and will groom your personality. So we have to build your character, your personality along with teaching, along with making you a doctor. If you are not a good human being, you cannot become a good doctor because physician is, tabib is always related to the religion. So we will keep on discussing the things. This was in Bali. This is my university, the University of Lahore. And let's have introduction. Can you click it? If you click here, there is
the University of Lahore is one of the largest private universities of Pakistan, ranked amongst the top educational institutes of the world.
It is accredited by the Higher Education Commission of the country and all its departments with their respective government councils. One of the fastest growing universities of Pakistan, it has 6 campuses with more than 40,000 students and 1,700 plus academic faculty. The University of Lahore is the pioneer university in Pakistan for producing renewable energy.
There are 200 plus degree programs with 3,500 plus courses for students to choose from. Apart from this, the University of Lahore offers 40 academic departments, 2 major research centers, and 3 technology parks. All the departments have world-class foreign qualified PhD scholars teaching in their area of expertise.
The university has the following faculties: Arts and Architecture, Allied Health Sciences, Engineering and Technology, Computer Sciences and Information Technology, Medicine and Dentistry, Management Sciences, Languages, Faculty of Law, Social Sciences, Pharmacy and Sciences.
The students have full access to the university's 35,000 plus books, which cater to all range of subjects.
The University of Lahore focuses on facilitating its students in the best possible way. The university provides on-campus boarding and lodging, and for day scholars, transport is available throughout Lahore.
Other facilities include a gym, swimming pools, and a full-scale sports complex, as we believe that students studying in our institution should not only be mentally healthy, but physically active as well.
On-campus restaurants and cafes provide both national and international cuisines. Extra and co-curricular activities include 50+ clubs and societies governed by the student body. Recreational events, workshops, and seminars are also a source of learning as well as entertainment for our students. Musical events, dramas, and cultural shows reflect the richness of history and heritage of the vibrant city of Lahore. Sports and outdoor activities are an integral part of on-campus life.
A complete 300-bed in-house teaching hospital, including dental, physical therapy, and a highly sophisticated radiology diagnostic center is also a part of the campus.
The advanced learning environment of the University of Lahore has resulted in the largest international student body in any private sector university in Pakistan, with more than 400 former students from world over.
Various modern security techniques have been implemented. 24-hour surveillance and on-duty security personnel are present to ensure safety.
The University of Lahore believes in delivering excellence through research and learning. We offer you the best education in your chosen field, whether you intend to become an educationist, a research scientist, a medical practitioner, a technologist, or an engineer. The University of Lahore awaits to welcome. Discover yourself. Inspire posterity.
Thank you for watching. It was about a short introduction of University of Lahore, the organization which is dealing with the university is a trust which is called Ibadat International Trust. We have got 3 more charters, 3 more universities, in addition to University of Lahore in Pakistan. Then we have one sister organization owned by the same management, which is Equator University, which is in Maharsa, which is a place near to Kampala, which is in Uganda. So the organization has got hospitals and different projects, and the University of Lahore, as discussed, deals with the quality of research and everything. This year we had about 1,500 publications, which were Scopus Index publications. And next target for 2022 is about 2,000 publications. So we are striving for the best facilities, best quality, and you might have noticed that we are competing with the European standards, the international standards, which are available for all the students. As mentioned by our respectful dean, that we offer the students from your university, from Indonesia, to come to our hospitals to work. We will offer some scholarships. We have hostels and we have all other facilities for foreign students. There are about 400 plus students from different nationalities, but I don't think there is any Indonesian. So you can break the ice and you can come. Let's start the first part, which is the globalization. The integration of capital, mean the money you invest, the technology and information across national borders. It means you take your money, you invest your money, you use your technologies and your information and take it out of your borders, out of your country, share it with others in a way that it is creating a single global market and to some degree a global village. That is called globalization. So whatever is the field, for instance, if we have mobile phones technology, people are producing that in China and then they are selling it out of China all over the world. And then they have started making their factories in some other countries. So they are going globally. They are not restricting themselves in China. So the international integration of markets for goods, services, and capital. So when we have the international market, we need to have higher standards. If we don't have quality, we cannot compete with the competitors. So when we talk about the globalization, the main important thing is that what are the factors which are affecting it and how it works. There are many processes, such as we can see the development of communication systems. Now, here is the point. The communication is by international languages. The main international language is English. Then we have Arabic, French, and Chinese. So if we are not knowing these languages, it means we cannot go global. So the first thing for us as student, as a physician, will be to learn at least one foreign language. And the most preferred language for research and for medical education is English. So if you are studying here in your local language, even then you can have some English language courses. Nowadays, there are many free courses available online. So better to spend some time on that courses. Integration of trade and investment across boundaries, the spread of democracy and human rights. So when we cross borders, we take the technology, we take the things out of the country. It is on the human rights that all the human beings have right to get education. Similarly, in higher education, they have right to get that education. It brings great promise and many problems. It is caused by many forces and has been underway, although the course of different rates of speed. So there were many eras in which the science, the quality enhancement, especially in the medical field and higher education, it grew very fast. But then some periods came in which it was slow, especially in the times of pandemics. So there is a graph. So there are different rates of spread throughout. Specific manifestations of it may be guided, shaped, governed, and conceivably even reversed. But the larger process is no more reversible than evolution itself. So things are improving, but there are few things which revert, which bounce back, although they are not in majority. Two processes that have been accelerating are the human mobility. The human beings are moving more excessively. The first travel I did was in 1983 when I got scholarship to study in Syria. in Damascus, University of Damascus. I got admission for my medical college, and nobody knew that that medical college is teaching in Arabic. So when I went there, I had the letter that I have to study MBBS, that is the MD, the basic education, and they said it is in Arabic. In the morning when I went, they showed me an anatomy picture, and they said this is biceps tendon, but we call it Adla Zata Rasen. Means Adla means muscle, and Zata means which has, and Rasen means two heads. Ras is head, and Rasen is two heads. So they say it is you have to study here. So I studied there 1 year and about 4 months. I learned Arabic, and then I migrated to Pakistan for medical college, claiming that it is difficult to study medicine in Arabic. So that is the barrier. They were from the French colony, so they were good in French. The things were in Arabic. It is the only university in the world which is teaching medicine in Arabic. So fortunately, I went there and I got boost up that I can survive in such places where people didn't know how to speak English. I got first friend in 1983 when I was 18 years old, and his name was Rafat, Syrian. And he introduced me with his mother. He said that he is my mother. He didn't know that we have to say she for the lady. So he said, he is my mother. So their English was like this. So you have to deal with the language. So communication is very important. Human mobility is important. When you travel, you speak. And if they don't know Indonesian Bhasha, then what you will do? If you go for training to UK, I send you to Switzerland, okay, study there. I have been there in the regional hospital in Lugano, very nice place. Around the lake, there is a very nice city. So if I send you there, you get your training of radiology, and you don't know English or you don't know the Italian because that is the Italian area, then you cannot communicate, you cannot learn, you cannot get what the teacher is telling you. So second thing is the mobility of the symbols. There are some symbols which are there and which everybody knows, like for stop, for cross, you know it is for medical. So there are many symbols. That is the international language. Then is the communication of technology, the information technology and communication technologies. Informational technology is growing very fast. It is artificial intelligence which is catching everything. Our smartphones are spying us because they have got intelligence which is called artificial intelligence. So this is how the things are accelerating. We have got economical, then political globalization, in which every kind of change, every discovery of change generates controversy. And when there is controversy, there will be politics. So there are many things which are introduced. For instance, the COVID was everywhere, people were dying. And when Russia attacked Ukraine, the COVID ran away, was afraid of the bombs and missiles. It means there was something hidden, there was something fishy. There was some politics which stopped it. And now they are saying the COVID is coming again because the virus of that war has gone. So these are political things which are going on. And some of the people say, the scientists say that it was a human prepared, human manufactured virus which was spread all over the world, and it changed the world. For 2.5 years, the whole world was disturbed. The planes were not flying, the trains were not moving, and we were all stuck. But thanks to the mobiles, to the smartphones, we could have died without the smartphones in COVID, because we didn't know what is going on when we didn't have that communication. So mobiles helped us to see what the world is doing. So political things are important in globalization. There are some good news and bad news, and keep in mind the good and bad is together. When you get something easy, be ready, there will be some difficulty. When you get some difficulty, be ready, there will be something which is good. So we call it Madhu Jazar, like the heart. It beats, it goes up, then down. So systolic, diastolic. So it will contract, then relax. This is life. So we will have good things and bad things. The good things for globalization is the quality of life. Indicators have risen for people everywhere. So people know everything. They know how to deal with diabetes, with hypertension, with heart attack, with their problems. So the quality has improved. But the bad thing is that the gap between those living in enormous wealth and those living in unbearable poverty has grown. The poor are becoming more poorer and rich are becoming more richer. So there is large gap now. This was globalization, the good and bad effects. Let's see what is the impact of globalization on higher education. The higher education is the education which starts in your university. Once you have higher school in your country, 12 years of education, then we start BS. In some countries, the BS is 3 years. In some countries, it is 4 years. Like if you go to UK, you will have a BS program of 3 years. Either it is pharmacy or it is nursing or it is computer sciences. The medical college in UK is 5 years. In Pakistan, we have 5 years medical education. And after 5 years, how we divide these 5 years, the first 2 years, they do the basic. They remain in the college, they do practical in the labs, they do dissection on the dead bodies. And then after 2 years, from third year, they start going to the hospital. Once the pathology starts, we start at the third year, we start modular format. Modular format means that we will teach you everything in pathology, which we have to teach you in your BS program of what you call the doctor program. We have MBBS. MBBS means the Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery, which is 5 years. So 3 years, after 2 basic years, we teach them everything in the form of modules. Some of the universities, they are offering annual courses and some are offering the semester system. We at University of Lahore are offering modular format, which is the American way of teaching. We will teach in small bouts, in small pieces, which is of 8 to 16 weeks, 12 weeks. So the surgeons will come and they will teach you surgery if it is in 4th year or final year. So when you finish 5 years, you cannot get the degree, you cannot get the license, I mean, and you have to work 1 year in the hospital, which we call paid house job, which is given by the university. The medical college, they pay you some salary and you work for 1 year and learn. So your learning starts from 3rd year, 4th year, 5th year, and then 1 year full residency. So it means your exposure to the patients, to the healthcare system is about 4 years. Then you become good doctor. And after MBBS, you do this house job and you get the license from the Pakistan Medical Dental Council. Then you can do 2 years diplomas or you can do 4 years for your specialization, which we call FCPS, which is the Fellow of College of Physicians and Surgeons of Pakistan. So this is how it works. So The globalization is the impact of the various trends and challenges related to globalization on higher education institutions and policies is profound, but also diverse depending on the specific location in the global area. As I mentioned, some people are offering annual courses, some semester, but the latest is the modular format. Now, the thing is to create new and tremendously important demand of exigencies and increase the demand of higher education worldwide. The important thing is that we prepare a doctor who can treat everyone, not only the Indonesian students, or if somebody is from Pakistan can treat only Pakistani students. That is not globalization. Globalization means that you are a physician who can deal anyone, any patient of any background, of any cultural background or regional background, you can deal with them. Now, if you don't know English, if you don't know the foreign languages, you will have the communication barrier. You cannot talk with the patients. So you need to talk with them at least in the local language. And if the local language is not available to you, then you can use the international language, which is English most preferred language. The factors of globalization which are affecting higher education. The process of globalization has changed the economic, political, and cultural world structure. It is everything is changed. Human capital is becoming increasingly important to international competitiveness. So the people who are investors, they are now investing worldwide. They are not thinking of one country. Overcoming the effects of the global economic crisis and new knowledge and technologies and innovative models of economic development are. We have to think why we didn't have, after independence of Indonesia, why we didn't have anybody having Nobel Prize. We had one person who was Pakistani national, Dr. Abdul Salam. He got Nobel Prize in physics. And there were three people who used to live in Lahore, in my city, but they were not Pakistani nationals. One was Indian and two other were Europeans. They studied, they did their research in my country. They went back, they published their things, and they got Nobel Prizes. Why? Because in my country, we start education, especially the higher education is in English. The pre-higher education, which is intermediate, or you can say the high school, grade 11 and 12 is mostly English. So those who become doctors, they know English and they can do research. They can do many things. Even a student can find a case study, a patient on which he can do some research, which is extraordinary. So I will keep on emphasizing on having training in English, because you can do a lot of things, research and publications, if you know this language. So globalization have a wide ranging potential to influence higher education. People around the world are more connected with each other. There is need of understanding of interaction of human society and environments. If I go back to 1980s, we had to write a letter to my family when I was in Syria, in Damascus, studying in the medical college, and the letter was reaching in 15 days. And then they had to write me the reply, which was coming within 15 to 20, 21 days, 3 weeks. Now, if you are studying in US, you write a message to your family, they will reply within seconds, they get at the same time. So this is how it is speedy, how you can communicate, and you can share many things with your parents. Even you can see your parents on the WhatsApp call, on the video call. So the next technology which is coming, which I read, is that you will not need these mobiles. You will just do this, and then it will appear, the screen will appear, you will put your password, and then you will feel virtually that you are sitting with your parents, although you are sitting in US or you are sitting out of the country, and your parents are here in Indonesia, so you will find virtually that you are with them. So you can put your hand close to them and you can shake your hands. So that is the technology. That's why you will see the kids who are of 6 months, 4 months, they can use your smartphone because for them it is not a new technology. It is past technology which we use. We means those who are of age below 50 years. I am 58, so I take out myself from we. So in over time, the things were very different. We have to go to the public call office to have a call. Now you have mobile with you, so you can coordinate, you can learn more. The doctors nowadays are better than the doctors who were at that time, according to the knowledge. But the ethical values are going down. If we are ethically good, we can become good doctors. When I started my clinic, my first aim was, after becoming a doctor, my first aim was to give health, to treat the patient, give sympathy to the patient, be a good Muslim, good physician, and having good communication with my patients. So within 1 year, I used to have 200 patients in my private clinic. They were saying that we find shifa in your hand. The shifa was that because of good communication, you deal patients, you cry with their cry. You feel the emotions of the patient that he has pain. It is not the doctors nowadays, most of the doctors, they just study, they know the things, but they don't know the sympathy, the humanity. That is very important if you want to become a doctor. So people around the world are more connected with each other. There is need of understanding of interaction of human society and environment. We need to know where we are standing, what are the surroundings, and how we communicate with the people. Education is global society. In global society has greater responsibility of shaping preferred features of the students. There is the liberalization and privatization has changed the education scenario of today. Many things, they say we are liberal, we are modern, we are advanced, and then is the privatization. Things are privatizing. There are many pros and cons of privatization. There are good things and bad things. People start misusing, making money and playing with the standards in some of the private sectors. But I think in higher education, if we look at the private sector people, they are putting more efforts to have good business and to give quality higher education as compared to the public universities, because there is less attraction for those who are working with the government of different underdeveloped countries, especially. So in advanced countries, they have their parameters. Look at this. There is no Pakistan in it, and there is no Indonesia in it. There is Malaysia. This is the list of which was prepared in 2018. This list says how many they are targeting. These are the human beings, the students they want from different countries. Australia, they want 720,000 onshore enrollments by 2025. Now, if they get $20,000 from one, then multiply $20,000 with 100,000. So it will become millions. Maybe I am not good in mathematics. It may touch the billion. So similarly, look at the Canada. Then Chinese, 50,000. These are their targets, which were established in 18, although there was Corona from 2020-21, so they did not meet the targets. It will take another year to meet their targets. They are adding 1 year. But why we are not here? Why Malaysia is there? Malaysia have the same culture, almost same religion, same policies, but they have adopted globalization. They are absorbing the people. they are attracting the people. And again, English is there. If you go, you talk with any Malaysian, they can understand, they can talk. The students will speak in English. So I used to go to Malaysia from 2000 to 2008. Every 3 months, I was giving training of ultrasound in some radiology clinics to Malaysian students. And there was no hesitation. Because if you are good, you are intelligent, and you don't know how to speak in English, you cannot communicate with your teacher. So that will be a barrier. So all of them, except France, French, they have some English institutions where the medium of instruction is English, but not many. Most of them are in French. Otherwise, New Zealand, Malaysia, Taiwan, Ireland, even South Korea. I went to South Korea in 2004. I have been to 97 countries. Because of COVID, I failed to get 100. So inshallah, I will make 100. It means if I come to Indonesia 2 times, it is 1 country. So I don't say it is 98. It is still 97. So in Seoul, I saw the house job, the resident, a medical doctor who is doing 1 year job in the hospital was not allowed to leave the premises unless they upload 1 case of the day, which they believe this patient was the best patient in whole day. If they find any case of bleeding, heart attack, any neurological deficit, any psychological problem, whatever is their department, whatever they thought is the best case, they had to upload. Then they were allowed to check out. So that's why you can see the Koreans, they have a lot of publications. Then the Chinese came, they followed the same thing. Before Korea was Japan, and then with Chinese, the Taiwan, they followed the same thing. So we have to follow same things. Why our students, our doctors, they cannot produce articles, they cannot produce publications, because you know the Google is the biggest fraud. You can put anything on the Google and our kids will say, okay, you are telling lie. We will check from the Google. Actually, Google is whatever you upload, it will show you. For instance, if I say that that person is a criminal and I write in different formats and I keep on writing 1 year, whenever you write his name, it will say he is a criminal. So it doesn't mean it is a computer. So whatever you feed, it will give you. So my eldest daughter is a doctor. She has got job in Manchester. So sometimes when I tell her, due to my experience, that this medicine will be good for this ailment, for this disease, she will check the Google and then she will do the debate. So I say the same thing, that Google is a fraud. He is not a professor. The professor talks with his experience, how he deals. I remember when I was working in the pediatric department in Lahore General Hospital, I was doing my house job. There was a kid. They brought him, and my assistant, my nurse told me that they have given something sedative to the kid. The kid was about 6 months old. So this is the injection which we have to give IV. If we don't give him injection within 5 minutes, he will die. So I gave injection and he started crying and woke up. Otherwise, we were not finding the pulse. There was some feeble heart rate. The cornea was, the pupil were contracted because of sedation. So it came up. So there are many things which you learn from your experience, which Google has not written. So that's how we do. So we have to listen to the peers, peers in my language, peer means murshid. Murshid is the leader. Leader means the one who are experts in your field. So we have to learn from them. We have to learn from these people that how we can bring foreign exchange, how we can bring students. Why your university is not getting that much foreign students? Why don't you make a target that we will have 1,000 students from the word, they will come, and in the beginning we can start scholarships. And then once your university is known in the world, people will start paying for it. But that is very important nowadays. So the most important component of globalization in relation of education is the need for producing higher quality manpower. That higher quality manpower is whatever is the field. If you are in medical college, you produce the highest quality doctors, good human beings and good professionals. And for producing higher quality manpower that can successfully face competition in the global market. What we call them, you might have heard, globally employable graduates. If you talk about QS Apple or Time Higher Education, the people from international office are there. They say that how many people, how many graduates of your university are globally employable. It means if there is a job from Microsoft USA, how many students of your university will be shortlisted? If nobody is shortlisted, it means your product is of the national level, not of international level. So you have to produce things. Like in Pakistan, we produce leather, which is from cow leather. We produce very good leather. We produce very good garments, these, what you call the pashminas and your clothes, many things which are very high quality, which are sold. Whenever I go to Europe, I will take some pashmina shawls for the foreign teachers, and they are very happy because I buy it in $10 from Pakistan and it is $300 in Europe. So they are happy that he brought very expensive gift for us. So this is called how you treat intelligently. You deal with the people according to the requirements, the global requirement. I will not give Quran to any non-Muslim as a gift. And I won't like to take a statue from a Hindu friend who is visiting me. So we have to see to whom we are dealing and how to deal with them. The globally employable graduates is the quality. If you want to become highly ranked in the world, you must see your alumni. How many of your alumni are working abroad? What were their qualities? Do the statistical analysis. How they succeeded, how they became. Was there any approach, any relative working there who brought them there, or they went on merit? So we need some reforms which can nurture the higher orders of the cognitive and interpersonal skills required for problem finding, problem solving, articulating documents, and deploying verifiable facts of artifacts. This is the human right to give higher education. In our countries, we don't give higher education. In my country, it is about 2% of the population they go for higher education. I don't know about your country, but I can imagine it will also be very low, that people are not coming to higher education. That is our responsibility. Challenges of higher education in the globalized world. First is the challenges faced by the universities and institutes of higher education, which are internal challenges within the organization of the university. Very important. The university is stuck because the rector or the dean or the main director is old-minded, is near to the retirement, is not accepting the new modalities, is not accepting the new innovations. So he is the leader. So he becomes a boss instead of leader. There is difference between boss and leader. The leader will make a team. The boss will dictate the team, not groom with the team. So there are many politics. People want to catch you, to catch your leg, and to replace you. There are many politics in the organization which affect the university, which affect the hospital, which affect the organization. So challenges in knowledge creation. Sometimes we don't create many new venues, many new ideas for knowledge. So we have to create, even we can have discussion with the student that sometimes the student can give you a good idea. Remember, there are many innovations, many discoveries which were done in the medical sciences by the medical students. So is there any new invention which is done by your medical graduates or in your medical college? If not, it means there is something wrong, which is not stimulating you. Then we have to give you some spicy food to stimulate you to start thinking about it, that why you don't innovate anything. Have you made any equipment? I had a friend, he died in Medina. He is buried now in Medina, the Dr. West. He made one cannula. He was a radiologist. He made one cannula for studying the patient's intestines on fluoroscopy. And after 5 years, he came to know that somebody in Oxford University has done PhD on Dr. Awais cannula. He wrote them, this is the cannula I discovered. It is with my name. It is there. It is patent. So do I take him to the court? The university said, okay, you don't worry. You are a radiologist. You have FRCR. We will give you PhD. So they gave him PhD without writing any thesis because he had invented that new equipment. So we have to think what we can do. And that curiosity will generate many things, many stimulus in us. So challenges aimed at tapping the potential of information and communication technology. Challenges for social responsibility and knowledge transfer. This is our social responsibility that Allah Almighty has created us, given us time to spend it here. So how we manage? While coming to Jakarta from Dubai, I was studying a book, How to Stop Time. So that was very interesting. A book was written by Natural Methods, How You Stop. I will not go in detail, but it works. I remember one incident in my life when I went to India and somebody guided me. We prayed behind him. He was the imam there. And while coming back, after 15 minutes, we came to know that there was no prayer in that mosque, which we offered. And we don't know how the time managed it and how it was possible. So in life, you will experience many things. The challenges of the responsibilities of knowledge transfer are very important. If we are a teacher and we are not transferring the knowledge properly, when the students are asking us questions and we are not giving them proper response, we get angry. Why you ask question? I will fail you if you ask me question. It means we are not good teachers. Teachers have to transfer knowledge. This is our responsibility, that whatever I have, I transfer to the next generation because I have to go to the grave. Then there is impact of globalization in higher education, like delivery of higher education with our modes of delivery have emerged, including we have branch campuses, then we have franchises, articulations, twinning of the courses. We were discussing with the international office that we can start twinning of the courses here with you. Corporate programs, distance education, we are starting, University of Lahore is starting online courses. We will give you some passwords so that your people can assess some of the courses. If they are paid, obviously they will not give you access to all the courses, but we can share some of the courses from the experts, and that are from the experts of the world, not only Pakistanis. They are from Finland, from UK, from Europe, from Italy, Switzerland, etc. And then is the abroad programs. We can arrange your collaborations with our universities and with some of the universities abroad to groom you up. This was the first part. It means about 60% of the lecture is gone. So you still have to bear me for another 20 minutes. So the barriers of globalization of higher education is the cultural differences, the differences and expertise level. You know, the foreign teacher want to transfer his knowledge to me, but I cannot understand his English. I cannot get his accent of English. So there is level difference of the expertise level. Sometimes a PhD teacher, if I'm very comfortable when I'm teaching the PhD students, but if you take me to teach a school boy of a kindergarten, grade 1, it will be difficult. I remember when I was in Damascus, I was working with the school of Pakistani embassy as a teacher. I was 19 years old, so I thought I will make some money, but that was terrible. They gave me grade, which was the pre-nursery. The kids were very small, like 5 years, 6 years, or 4 years, and they were the kids of the diplomats from different universities. Some Sweden, Denmark, Pakistanis, Indians, all that. There were 20 students. I had to teach them. This was A, which nowadays is R. So now they have changed it. So I had to teach them, and every day one of the kid was angry that he is not concentrating on me. He is not giving me time. I want to change the school. So I remember I helped one of the students to win a competition. He blackmailed me that I will leave your class and I will ask my mother to tell the principal to throw this teacher out of the school because he is not dealing properly. So tomorrow is a competition of eating apple. You help me. He was from Sweden. I took 70% of the apple and I gave him the outer side. Okay, you take it. And then they started eating and he was the first because 70% was already gone. So he was very happy. 3 years back, I received a call from Sweden. He said, I remember your name. I am that kid and I am the foreign minister of Sweden. You groomed me with that fraud because teachers sometimes they help so that he stay here because I was to save my job. So after that, he said, I kept on studying in the schools. I was happy with the schools, with the teachers. Although after 2 months, I left the school and came back to Pakistan. But that student, he remembered the name. And when he found me on the Facebook, he said that I have to acknowledge that you played something which was actually positive for me to groom me up. So we have to give the confidence to the students. If they are not taking blood pressure or temperature properly, they are not putting cannula properly, they are not putting injection properly, we have to encourage them. We have to teach them in the positive way. So the expertise level is very important. If I teach undergraduate, I will feel more problem. If somebody who is a school teacher is teaching, they know how to deal with these kids. But for me, it will be difficult. So expertise level is important. Then is geographic time zone differences. There are people, they have different habits when they are living in different time zones. Their living habit, their other habits are different. So we have to see if we are doing globalization, either it will be acceptable in that area or not, especially in the higher education. Then is trust level. If you are doing business or you are dealing with the students, either they trust you or not. Then again, the language and communication, I have talked a lot about it. Work style differences. Work style difference is very important. If I am doing globalization with Oxford University, I know they will work 5 days a week. They will come at 8 o'clock, they will leave at 5 o'clock, and after that, they will not even reply your email or WhatsApp. But if we are Indonesians, Malaysians, Pakistanis, we work 7 days a week, 24 hours. If you write me message and I am alive, means I am awake. Death, sleep and death are same. So till midnight I am awake. So if I receive any email, any message, I reply. So this is the work style different. So we must know that when we are responding, having communication with the countries who will not work on Saturday, Sunday, never write them message on Saturday or Sunday. Wait for the time, because on Monday, the Americans, they start in Pakistan, we have about 12 hours difference. So my 8 p.m. will be their 8 a.m. So they are behind 12 hours behind my time zone. So I have to keep in mind that when I'm writing them, I don't write them after 5 o'clock of their time. Similarly, my country is 2 hours behind your country. Now, if it is 3 o'clock here, it is 1 o'clock there. So if I write to somebody who is Indonesian at 12 o'clock in the night, it means it will be 2 o'clock, 2 a.m. and he is sleeping. He will be annoyed. He will not reply, or maybe he will be angry. So we have to, when we do the communication for globalization, we have to see how we manage this work style, how people are working. One of my friend who was my supervisor in Switzerland, he came and I gave him a room in my house. And while going, he said to my wife that you are Badsha. Badsha means king. You are living in a big house. It is a villa. You have 2 drivers, 3 maids, 1 cook. You are king. I am the professor in Switzerland, he said, and I have 2 genes. One gene is mine, another one I brought is of my wife. And I have a small house of 2 rooms, and the lady who cleans my room every day, she takes about 30% of my salary. So you people are king and queens. You are living in the villa and having a lot of servants. Same is here. You will get the cheaper labor, which can serve you. So when you are thinking of going abroad, keep in mind you will have to clean. When my daughter went to UK as a doctor, I told her that here you were not even cooking tea. You were not making tea because you were saying I'm becoming a doctor. So I don't have to work, ask the maid to make tea for me. So there you will have to clean your toilet, clean your house, cook your everything, wash your clothes, iron and wash the utensils. Everything you have to do when you are there. So this is the lifestyle difference. So we have to see how is the lifestyle of the country or the people or the organization with whom we are dealing. We have to show patience. So sometimes there are different styles of working, like team-oriented approach. In a university, in a higher education institution, the students work collaboratively as a team to develop and engineer a product. So we say, okay, you 6 students, you prepare this thing. This is called team-oriented project. And then is the multidisciplinary approach. I ask 1 medical student, 1 engineer, 1 psychologist, and some other people to make 1 team, and they produce something, do a project that is called multidisciplinary. Then is multicultural. I ask 1 African, 1 non-Muslim, 1 Muslim, 1 Jew, 1 Hindu, 1 Christian, everybody, they work on 1 thing, which is related to religions, like international comparison of the international religions. I give them tasks and they work. That is called the multicultural approach. Then we can do problem-based learning. People ask me why you have 542 publications. Most of them are Scopus. I work like this. I give tasks to my students, supervise them, and we publish the projects. We do the publications. You can have hundreds and thousands. One of my student, he has got 141 publications, and his age is about 27. Because they work like this. Intensive schedule. Students work solely on the project because of the short 3-week summer term. Like I was inviting that you can send some students for 3 to 6 weeks or 3 months. they can have practical training with us. We can give them free hostels, and we can give them training. They buy the ticket and they can come. So then is the problem based also. We give them problem to solve it. This is how they learn. So key factors for globalization of higher education are an acceptable personal image and a positive personal attitude, treating people with fairness, trust, and respect, respect for diversity, courtesy and respect, and eagerness to help others. You know, Allah says that I help those who help my people. So these are different factors which are important. The key areas of internationalization in the education in Finland are these. If we talk about Finland, they say that student, teacher, and researcher mobility, international R&D, which is research development projects, development of joint and double degrees with other institutions in other countries, increase in foreign students and researchers in your university and country. This is how they work. Pragmatic strategies are important. Finally, there are some pragmatic strategies to facilitate, encourage, and sustain global-oriented teaching in higher education, and approaches that are acceptable to a variety of disciplines and institutional contents. Now, let's discuss few slides. Just to encourage you, there are few slides of future of academia in health sciences. Aspects of globalization that may affect the general effect on health from changes in national economic growth, link between health and wealth. If you have good money, you can take care of your health if you are smart. If you are not smart, you will keep on getting the wealth and losing your health. So the smartness is that when you have wealth, take care of your health. Otherwise, you are rich, but you are taking a brown bread. And somebody who is your driver is taking 4 big breads with jam and with butter because he has no illness, no problem. So environment degradation, air, water pollution are important. There is improved access to knowledge and technology, marketing of harmful products and unhealthy behaviors. Unhealthy behavior is our eating habits are not good, and some products are not pure, that are criminally mixed up. So conflict and security is there, and cross-border transmission of disease, like what happened in Corona. There are some diseases which are spreading by the people who are traveling. The specific public health issues are infectious disease control, very important, which is spreading, the food safety. Then we have tobacco, which was supposed to be causing cancer, and environments are important, which are changing. There is global change, access to drugs, food security, emerging issues like biotechnology, and health services are very important. The better health services you have, the better will be the results. There is a 2% annual reduction in chronic disease death rates worldwide per year over the next 10 years. The scientific knowledge to achieve this goal already exists. So we can save about 3.6 million people in next 10 years by just controlling 2% of the chronic diseases. One important thing which we can get in the future is called telemedicine. Especially the radiology people, they know that we can have telemedicine in radiology department, in which the whole department is attached. The CT scan, MR, X-ray, ultrasound reporting is done. The doctor is sitting on one corner, the radiographers, sonographers are doing it. They are feeding, they are uploading the documents, and they are doing. An example of it is a PAC system. In PAC system, all things are together. Even in the hospitals, we can have the telemedicine means that you can have medicine online. You can consult your doctors. There are many softwares available with which you can do it. So if you look at the definition, the use of medical information exchange from one side to another via electronic communication for the health and education of the patient or healthcare providers, and the purpose of improving patient care. So in order to improve patient care, we communicate with the patients and doctors to get proper information, and we guide them, we treat them. This is how the telemedicine in healthcare system, this is one of the future. Even it is the present, and people are going beyond it, introducing the artificial intelligence in it. My last thing is 10 pillars, which form the foundation of health sciences future. There are 10 things which we have to keep in mind, which are shaping the next generation for breakthrough in the field. First is curriculum. It is about the health education. If we want to grow, we have to learn how to make curriculum, how to compete with the curriculum of other advanced countries. The modular format is the best, and even if you have semester system, you can compete with them. It will be very beneficial. The second is student assessment. Now what happens, we make good lectures, but we don't assess the student. I attended one conference in New York back in 2001, in which they said that if you show this slide to a student for less than 1 minute, the student will forget within next 5 minutes. So the teachers, they don't know. We don't have teacher program that how to prepare a slide, how to talk about it. You see, we keep on, if you're a good teacher, I will show you the slide, you keep on looking at it. And I will keep on talking different things. My average time will be 55 seconds so that this go to your hard disk. If I don't want this to be transferred to you, like in conferences, we change the slides within 30 seconds because we want to give the impression that we were very good. We did a lot of things, but we don't want them to remember. So there is difference between class teaching and conference or seminar teaching. If you want your student to get the slide to remember, especially in my department in radiology, we show the image and we keep on talking for 55 seconds minimum. This will go in the hard disk. Otherwise, in the temporary memory, it will go away. So the student assessment is very important. We don't concentrate on it. We don't concentrate on quizzes. We don't concentrate on assignments. We don't concentrate on group discussions, seminars. We don't give them projects. We just give them lectures. We ask them to prepare these lectures like a parrot, and then come and write everything. 20 pages, 30 pages, you write it. So nowadays we have multiple choice questions. We have scenario-based questions. So in which I will give you a scenario. So you use the brain, depending on the knowledge which was given to you by your teacher. So student assessment is very vital. I changed the student assessment methodology in some of our practical courses in medical imaging and radiology, in diet and nutrition, physical therapy. The results were different. Otherwise, the students were coming, they were getting degree and they didn't know anything about the subject. Interprofessional components. There must be some components which are not according to their profession, but related to their profession. For example, medical ethics. how you deal with the patient. If you go for an interview in UK, they will ask you that before you start ultrasound or X-ray or any examination of the patient, remove the shoe of the patient by your hands. You have to do it. Whereas in developing countries, they will just order, okay, let's start. Go to the bed and put the gel and do the ultrasound. So there is a behavior difference. You have to follow that. So for that, we need to learn medical ethics. We need to learn the equipment ethics, equipment care. As a medical professional, you need to know how to deal the stethoscope, how to deal with the ECG machine. All the things which you are handling, you must know how that are important for you and for your patient and for your respect. If you don't use your tools with respect, nobody will respect you. So how to clean the things, the psychological impacts, the sociological impacts, all are important. So interprofessional component. Then is integration of the simulation and virtual immersive reality technology. This is that virtual technology in which in one room you will have a patient or clinic-like or hospital-like atmosphere virtually, and you can deal with the patient, you can ask questions, you can do the surgeries. We will prepare online lecture and we will send you the video how we are doing that. For instance, if somebody has got a renal stone, how we do the lithotripsy, how we break it, or how we do the surgery of the stone, there will be virtual thing. It will give you guidance how we go and we do it. Or there is biopsy, ultrasound guided or fluoroscopy guided biopsy. We can do it virtually by virtual immersive reality technology. You can write it down and you can study what is that. Then is simulation. Simulation means we have some bodies, some dolls-like structures, human being-like, and we attach them to the computer, and we just feed, okay, the patient will behave as is crying. So the patient will start crying. Even we have one in which the tears will start coming. You put water, and then when you switch on, will start crying. And then how you behave, how he will speak. They are expensive, but once you have that, that will train your students, like the Phantones. We have simulation, we have anatomy tables, which are more common, maybe you have in some of your universities. So virtually the things are very important. This is one of the future. Academic health centers as learning and teaching hubs. So the small centers which are for health, we can use them for teaching and learning. We can get some patients from some of the clinics and study. So you can go around in the community, bring some cases and study with your teachers so that you can share knowledge. Standardization of knowledge, skill and professionalism competencies. So we must have standards of knowledge that anyone who is becoming doctor must have these qualities. And what are these qualities? What are the factors on which these qualities are dependent? You have to provide that trainings to the doctor so that once he or she becomes a doctor, have that qualities. If you don't provide that raw material, the product will not have that. That is important. You see, sometimes I look at the students, they are playing with the mobile. You know how much was my ticket? It was 4,500 US dollars. And I came here to deliver lecture, to meet two people. And when you are just messaging It hurts me that I am losing the money which my university has provided me, the facility they have given me. So just when I saw some of the students, they were doing that, maybe they have some emergency. So they have to reply, otherwise the guy will be angry. Why you didn't reply? And they will say the crazy professor was not leaving us. I remember once I was in Riyadh in Saudi, I delivered a lecture that was about radiology, the radiographic techniques. There were about 200 Saudian students from different universities. And at the end, I asked questions, nobody replied. Then I asked one guy that, what are the things you got? He said, I got two important things from your lecture. I was happy that somebody has got something from my lecture. He said the others, they don't bother, they were playing with the mobile. I got. When I asked what are two things, he said one was Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim and second was Shukra. So, because of the language barrier again, they were not able to understand. And when we cross 45 minutes, our concentration goes away. That is the problem. I also, whenever I sit for any lecture to listen, I don't sit more than 10 to 15 minutes. I go on the back because I feel I will be snoring if I sit in the front. So very difficult to listen to the others. When you are speaking, you will keep on speaking. So that is the difference. So we need heightened emphasis on team-based peer assessment. That we make teams, short groups, we give them some assignments, we assess them, how they perform. So teachers have to do a lot. So there will be more diverse and international healthcare force if we follow these things. Mr. Gold was from Finland. He said that intensified focus on the diversity in the healthcare workshop as well as global collaborations as they will boost the quality of health education and healthcare worldwide. Last point is focus on healthcare delivery to ensure the sustainability, that we focus how we deliver, how we give the services to the patient in the community, in the hospital, in the clinics, everywhere. So by 2025, globalization will have sharpened the hierarchy in the world, higher education, with a handful of university transnational corporations, so for which I am here to have collaboration with you. I will not read all this. So therefore, globalization of education must be a necessary part of higher education. Business and engineering schools alike in the United States have added or are considering globalization an important addition to a student's higher education package. Globalization is already an important part of European education. Globalization is not a passing phenomena. It is there to stay. It is not that with time we will get rid of it. It will increase. Universities and colleges throughout the world need to recognize that every student needs to have global skills. So we need to introduce the global skills which you need. For which the universities have to start MOUs for digital learning, skill enrichment, student exchange, module or course exchange, twinning models, bridging courses, dual degree programs, co-authored publications, combined research projects, and sharing the resources. This is my take-home message. Give the world the best you have. The best will come back to you. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Thank you, Prof. You can sit down or still,
No?
if you want to.
Sit down.
Sit here, sir. Okay.
I
Thank
hope
you.
everybody will have 2 questions. If English is not good, no problem. Maafi mushkil hai.
Thank you. I think it's a very interesting lecture. Professor, what is the role of the medical ethic in the globalization like this?
Yeah.
Because the telemedicine, for example, for the doctor, I think is a little bit difficult.
And there are some standards which are international standards for medical ethics. At least that minimum criteria must be met by all the people who are dealing globally, who are interacting. There are some things which are ethical, but they are dependent on religions, like the Muslims have some specific ethics, the others will have some other ethics, but the medical ethics, the basic thing is like you have to take care of the patient, you have to take care of the privacy of the patient, not discuss with others. For instance, if somebody has got a boy and you do ultrasound and tell everybody in the street that the lady has got a boy in the tummy. So that is the privacy of the patient. That is everywhere. We have to take care of the basic things, that we don't harm the patient, we keep their privacy, we give them the basic skills we have got. That will be the globalization. Now, what will happen with the globalization? The people in Pakistan will start learning the more refined medical ethics when they will coordinate with the people in UK or in America, because they are better civilized nowadays, not in the past, but nowadays they have better moral values as compared to the developing countries. So we, especially talking about the medical ethics, so we will learn from them by globalization. Anything else?
Is there questions from students? I know the topic is a bit hard, but try to.
You can ask any question, no, even not
Yes,
in this
yeah.
topic. You can ask about Pakistan, you can ask about boys in Pakistan, girls in Pakistan. You can ask about the students, the fashion.
Any questions or comments, maybe? Or okay.
Thank you, Prof. I am totally happy to sit here because I have some inspiration board. But I want to know that it seems to be rare in Indonesia that we have a person who have two academic title like about ultrasound and public health, because it's so different place at different area for working place. Maybe in the ultrasound we work in hospital, and the public health we work in the people. I think we have many interaction in the people. So what is the story behind it? Why Professor chose the different title that in Indonesia is, I mean, I never seen people like this.
Yeah, when I became a doctor, I had a clinic. The clinic was very busy. And I used to see 200 to 300 patients as a GP in my clinic. One of my friend learned ultrasound, and he was coming to my clinic every Sunday doing ultrasound of my patients. I was simple MBBS. A day there was a rain, very heavy rain, and there was no patient waiting for him. So he was my class fellow, my roommate in MBBS. He became angry. Why? There is no patient for me. I told him that whatever you diagnose is always wrong. But I am your friend. I treat them according to their signs and symptoms. I don't say. He said, okay, if you think it is so easy, you prove. So I left my clinic I went to Manitoba, Canada. I did 9 months training, came back and started same practice. And with the practice, I was doing ultrasound on the patients. But in the beginning, it was taking more time. So I thought I must learn more because I'm not very good in ultrasound. So I left my clinic, which was my butter and bread. I stopped going there. I sold the thing. And I told the doctor that this fan is moving. And when I stop this, when I put off the button, it will not stop. It will keep on moving slowly. With passage of time, it will stop. So if you want these 200 to 300 patients in the clinic, take care of them. Have a good behavior because I spent 4 years and I had this number of patients which are coming. So then I started learning ultrasound and I made a clinic with the name of Gilani Ultrasound Clinic in Lahore, in my city. On first day, we had 2 patients. And people said that he is crazy. He lost 300 GP patients and he has got 2. But then it grew. Within 2 years, we were having about 50. Now, I started it on 15th of August, 1998. For 24 years, people have to get the appointment. And we have 6 radiologists in the morning, 6 in the evening. They are my students. They are scanning. And people don't find time. Tokens are not available because it is crowded. The thing was that the basic thing which I was sharing is give the word the best you have, the best will come back to you. So when I was a GP, I was giving the best medicine, best love, respect to my patients. When I came to ultrasound, I did the same. And then while talking with the patients, having their issues, I thought there are many things which are with the community. So I must study the public health. So I started public health. In 2016, few years back, I did my Master of Public Health and kept on doing ultrasound and teaching. And then I did my PhD in public health. And I still want to study because a doctor will, you say that the doctor have to study till he dies. The doctor will remain there. There are new technologies, new things which we learn. So that's how I changed. Now, 6 months back, I'm changing again. You know how I'm changing? I have started new business of software house. We are producing some of the softwares for the students. So I hope I can produce one software with my team, which can be very famous in the world. But I will be using that in ultrasound. I will be using that for the volunteers. So we have made one portal in which you can register the villages, the people who have any problem, and we can have a data. So I'm sharing that data with one of the global organization. They publish it, and this increases my publication. This was a short story.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything. People are trying to ask Google what to ask. This mobile is very dangerous. After Fajr prayer, if I take my mobile, I will miss my Quran recitation. And when I read Quran, I say, okay, 12 pages remaining, now 8, now 6 remaining, not finishing. When I take mobile, it takes 1 hour. And I don't care how much time it's gone because it takes me to different things. Facebook, from there you go to what's the YouTube. From YouTube, you go to other things. So it keeps on going. This catches you. So what I have learned that after Fajr, I keep my mobile on the side. I keep on looking, it attracts me, but I keep it away. I read my things and I give you some gifts. One gift is called the Lailul Khirat. Anybody heard about it? This is a majmua which many Indonesians they read. Many Muslims they read. It is from one of the Imams who was from the past. He was going somewhere with his people, followers, and there was no water. He saw a well, and there was no water, very deep. A girl came, about 8 years old, they say it was about a small girl. She spitted in that, and then the water came out. He took water and then he asked, "What you prayed?" He said, "You are big sheikh. You don't know how to bring the water up. This is very easy." So I started reading that. She told that Durood, that Salat on the Prophet ﷺ, and then she said, "Okay, don't tell everyone because it is a miracle." So he wrote all the Durood, all Salat in one book, which is called the Lailul Khirat, and he has given that insight. So 3 years back, on 27th of Ramadan, when it was Laylatul Qadr, I prayed one thing, that I want to know that truth which is hidden in this book. And I thought in the dream Allah will tell me, but Allah didn't tell me. At 11 o'clock on 28th Ramadan, on 27th Ramadan, one sheikh from Abu Dhabi, he called me. He said that you were looking, somebody told me in the dream that you are looking for that, it is that one. So it is Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammadin salatan daimatan maqboolatan tuaddi biha anna haqqul azim. I will share with you. It is so strong that it can help you a lot. But very dangerous in one concept that it opens everything. One of my wife's cousin was ill. She said he has cancer, and we want her to be. We want him to be treated with operation. It will spend a lot of money. I said, okay, no problem. 4th Zilhajjah, he has to die. I didn't know that I am saying this, but then after that, when you talk like this, the problem, because on 4th of Zilhajjah, he died. So this created problem. Till then, my wife is angry that you said you have the black tongue. You said this and he died. She didn't say that you are very religious, very good, that I have to follow you. So wives are like this. If even you are very religious man, they don't care. Wife is wife. So this is very good, Durood. Second thing is, for your patients, if somebody is sick, you can put on the recitation of Surah Rahman. Everybody knows. Then if somebody is sick, you can read minimum 11 times or 101 times Surah Fatiha. This is also called Surah Shifa for all the diseases. Very good. If you want your teacher to pass you in the exam, there is Surah Yasin, ayah number 9. وَجَعَلْنَا مِنْ بَيْنِ أَيْدِيهِمْ سَدًّا وَمِنْ خَلْفِهِمْ سَدًّا فَأَغْشَيْنَاهُمْ فَهُمْ لَا يُبْصِرُونَ. This was at the time when there was, the Prophet ﷺ was migrating from Makkah to Medina, and he recited it. And nobody was able to see because there was thunder. So he went there. And so if you have your Viva not ready, you can read it and just throw it on him. He will be blind. But keep in mind, if he recite 2 times, you will be blind. So never compete with your teacher. So this is, we went to Baghdad, to Iraq, and every 1 mile there was police. So I was reciting this. My friends, they said, okay, you sit with the driver, you recite. Nobody stopped us because when we are near to them, they were looking somebody else or talking on mobile, so we were passing. So this is very effective. If somebody has girls, not a boy, Then you read Surah Nuh, وَيُمْدِدْكُمْ بِأَمْوَالٍ وَبَنِينَ وَيَجْعَلْ لَكُمْ جَنَّاتٍ وَيَجْعَلْ لَكُمْ أَنْهَارًا مَا لَكُمْ لَا تَرْجُونَ وَقَارًا. This is that we have blessed you with the boys, we have blessed you with the mal, with the money, and we have made canals, rivers, and Jannah. Then why don't you say thanks to the Allah? So whenever anybody comes, I take one date and read this, and I say, okay, you keep on reading. When you think you will be pregnant, you will be conceived, you will have boy. And Alhamdulillah, I have got 100% results. It is Surah Nuh, ayah number 12 or 13, I think. So these were my gifts. Don't put it in the lecture.
What do you think about me?
You are merely to deliver. I have 6 months, you have 9 months.
9 months, 30 days.
Yes. Anything else? I just tell these things to make you comfortable to ask.
Any questions? We'll accept. Okay.
Thank you, Prof. I want to ask, according to your CV, which has a lot of publication, I want to ask, what is your biggest motivation to keep learning that we are as a student can, maybe we can inspire from you? Thank you.
I thought you are inspired from me, but still you are not inspired. You see, the thing is that which I have shared, that give the word the best you have, the best will come back to you. Even to your sisters, your parents, your friends, you give whatever you can do for them. Do good. The good will come automatically to you. People say that that is your enemy. I keep my enemies close because the old people, the wise people said, keep your friends close and keep your enemies closest. If your enemies are closest, you will keep an eye, knowing that this is enemy. Don't tell that you are my enemy, but keep an eye. That will be the success. The second thing is there are two types of criticism. When you are on a motorway and you are going at a speed of 200, the police will be there, cameras will be there, and there will be people going slowly in small car. They will be jealous, abusing you. Oh, stupid, he is going so fast. Why don't he get accident? Because they are jealous. They cannot do it. So such people are there with you. They will be jealous with your success. So pray for them. Allah will know that he is jealous, whereas this guy is praying for him to give him hadayah, to solve his problem, also give him. So what will I will lose if I have a car which is very expensive? If he gets that also, my car is there. So why don't I pray for him? So this is how we develop. That is the inspiration you have to get, that be positive. Nothing is negative. If you make your head station platform for negative thoughts, the negative will start coming. Because you know that mobile is having artificial intelligence, but it is not even a 1% of the human brain. It is 100 times more artificial intelligence. It picks everything. That's why they say that the Safar Wasila is Zafar, means when you travel, you get wiseness, you get success. What happens? People cross. You are at Heathrow Airport, somebody very intelligent is crossing. So there are secretions. There are some things, waves, which are secreted by the human being. So that will be captured by your body. You will get energy. There are positive energies, there are negative energies. Somebody will say, oh, this is a good looking girl, so that we will say next day she will get fever, because that was the bad eye. They were jealous. And sometimes people say, oh, very nice, and they like it, but they are not jealous. To get positive energy, you will become happy. So the main idea is that we keep on working, we don't stop. My father, he died at the age of 86, and he was reciting Surah Durud Taj. You might have heard Durud Taj, which is lengthy one, but very good. So he said to me, I was the only son, and I have 5 sisters. So he said, okay, I tell you one thing, because your speed is fast, people will criticize. There are 2 types of criticism. One is positive, other is negative. Positive means, yes, you have that faults in your personality. That is to improve you. You get rid of it. For instance, your education is MPhil, do PhD. For instance, your PhD, do postdoc. So improve yourself. That is how you improve yourself positively. My friend criticized me because he wants me to be better. So he is my friend. The second one is the criticism, which is the defect, which is not in me, but he is blaming me. He is making my reputation wrong. So I don't care, because I don't have in my personality. Then why I care about him? He will talk to 4 people, 5 people, 10 people, and they will say no to him. No, we don't find this thing in his personality. So if there is fault, the criticism is there, that is helpful for us. And if there is no fault, people keep on criticizing, let them criticize. We don't bother about them. He gave me this idea. The second thing he said, look, my son, welcome those who come to you as a student, as an employee. Alhamdulillah, whoever comes to me, to my deanship, I give them job. If there is no job, I give them job in my clinic or in my college. Or even I give them, okay, you sit here, I will pay you. So they sit and then they arrange something and they get it. So he said, anybody comes to you for food, not a beggar, for job, for help, help them. And anybody want to go out of your life, don't stop them, because they have decided to leave you. So nothing to worry that why they are leaving. So this is how we can keep ourselves happy. Many students, they work with me, they got trained, they work at my clinic, and when they were trained, when I needed their expertise in my clinic, they left me. And they said, oh, Dr. Gilani, you will be angry, I am going to UK. And I will always say, okay, I have friends in UK, tell me, we will arrange your job, we will arrange car for you, we will arrange things. And my friend from UK will come to the airport and bring a bouquet for him. Then this is from Dr. Gilani, you have come, you have left him, you have spoiled his clinic, his things, but Allah will arrange somebody else for me who will be better than him. So temporarily, I will feel that this was my main radiologist. He is leaving. My business will be disturbed. But Alhamdulillah, in 24 years, many people have gone and they have better career. And I go to UK and I meet them. In Toronto, I have about 358 students who did American registry. I trained them. So when I go there, there is a big party. They arrange together, they arrange the lunch or dinner, and they invite me. So they are happy with me. If anybody say I want to go to Canada, I say no, you work here. I will write them letter against you. Don't leave. They will not stop, but they will keep on abusing you whole of their life. People say if this shoe is not good, there will be 2 people. If the shoe is good, there will be 2 people. They will say I bought it from this company good. But if the shoe is not good, there will be 200 people. They will tell the others, oh, don't buy from there. Their shoes are not good. This happens. So better is to be positive. This is life. I have spent 58 years of life, went to 97 countries, met a lot of people. And Alhamdulillah, I was able to help the people to develop their careers. I give offers to the people, okay, I will do this, and I do it. Even if I don't have in the pocket, it comes. Sometime when I sleep, the dollars and pounds, they come below the pillow. This is your belief, how you do it. It doesn't mean it comes under the pillow. Pillow means that he will help you from somewhere. He will give you money. So this is how, if you are positive, positive will come. Anything else? Thank you very much.
If not, I'm gonna ask Professor from 97 countries. How do you see Indonesian students or Indonesian doctors between the 97 countries?
Okay. They are not at least at 97. Actually, I have not interacted with the students much. This was the first interaction. The doctors I met in 2010, they were very good. But they are undergraduate students. There is difference. But doctors were good. I showed you the picture. They were very interactive. They wanted to learn. And they were radiologists and they were physicians. They knew the things. Their level is good. Again, I will say that the English language, there must be universities teaching in Bhasha, but there must be some international courses. So they switch to them and they study in English so that we will have better brains which can make something for our nation and for the family.
Okay, there's no questions. Oh, okay.
First of all, thank you for the interesting and educative presentation, Professor. As you said in your presentation, the globalization has two, like, the bad news and the good news. Like the social gap between the rich and the poor, like the rich become richer and the poor become poorer. I wonder, is there any solution like to change the poor not become any poorer?
The richer, they don't become richer. Yes, there are many solutions to know that democracy, the system actually was to keep people in between. That depends upon the government. If you give them health, education, insurance, and you give them specific amount of money, everybody will come the same. Like I give you example of UK. In UK, if your salary is per month £3,000, your tax will be less, like 20%. If it is 5,000, it will be 40%. So 5,000, 40% gone means you will get about 26 or 3,000. And if you have 3,000, you will get 24 or 22. So the difference is 200-300. If your salary is 10,000, you give 70% to the government, you will get 3,000. So they bring you, they give you education, they give you schooling, they give you insurance, but they don't give you much money. Everybody there is in between 2,000 to 5,000 pounds per month. Except those businessmen who are getting millions and giving lot of taxes. This was the rule of Umar, Hazrat Umar Raziallahu Ta'ala. to keep the society which they have adopted. In Canada, they have adopted. In UK, they have adopted, but we don't adopt. So in our countries, poorer will be more poorer because we are not following any rules. There are many steps which we can take, like we create small businesses, we help them with the houses, we give them some earning methods, we give them business. We don't give them just giving them food to eat. That will not help them. Let them grow, their mental establishment, let them encourage them. That are the things, but main thing is that for our level, we cannot do anything in developing countries except the politicians, the establishments, those who are ruling the country. They have to look after it. They have to make the economic policies to make it. Thank you. How many of you are of the final year?
Final year, how many of you?
Final year is the 4th year, huh?
Yeah.
When they will finish? When you will finish? April? So before doctor.
Before doctor, August.
So we can arrange something that if they spend 6 months here and 6 months in Pakistan, and then your medical council allows, that will be counted. We can give them exposure there in Pakistan. To make them doctors, you need 1 year. Huh? So if they spend 6 months in our hospitals and 6 months in your hospitals, and they get 1 year accredited by the council, university can ask them. Yeah. We can do the mapping. Yes, we have occupational health. In Allied Health Sciences, I started Allied Health Sciences in Pakistan in 2012. Now we have about 34 departments. Actually, these 32 departments are under umbrella of 14 departments. So Department of Health Technologies have occupational health, patient-related technology. We have the cardiac perfusion technology, then have anesthesia, dermatology, all these in one department. But we offer BS, not MS. We have very good physical therapy department. If you start physical therapy, we have PhDs. So we can take some of your teachers, give them scholarship to do PhD with us.
We will discuss about it.
Yeah.
Mau cari cowok Pakistan ya. He wants to go there because he wants to find a Pakistan boy.
I'm so old, otherwise I could have accepted the offer.
Okay, thank you for your attention. We close the lectures. Thank you very much, Prof. Sheikh said. Not only Prof. Sheikh, but Sheikh said.
Don't put that part.
Yeah, Professor Gilani. We close the lecture. Thank you very much for your interesting lecture and very futuristic. I'd say futuristic because globalization will be happen eventually. So yeah, we do. So we will be very better to be prepared than be poorer. Okay, thank you very much. I close this lecture. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Back to the MC.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Professor Gilani and Hafidz. Thank you for your very good lecture. May all of us get the value and benefit from the lecture. The next idea is giving a summary from Medical Faculty for Professor Syed Amir. I will invite to Prof. Syed Amir and Dr. Hong come to the podium.
I brought a gift for you, which is in my bag. Oh, yeah. The bag is beside that.
Ladies and gentlemen, finally we come to the end of this event. To pass this event, let's reciting Alhamdulillah together. Alhamdulillah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time and for your attention. Bila topik holiday. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kita foto bersama dulu di depan. Take a picture together.
Ya. Itu yang berdiri gitu. Nah, ini yang berdiri yang sebelah sini yang belakangnya berdiri. Kayak gini aja ya.
Mas Irfan silap. Ambil foto dia silap. Dan ada lagi.
Ini 2 kali, coba. Tepuk yang keras. Nah, kalau saya begini, tepuknya panjang. Keras. Coba.
Selamat datang. Selamat bekerja.
Masuk itu Kak.
Aku kayak udah pindah gitu. Iya.
Anget. Guys, open.